Brownie.
It's a podcast bonus.
Good morning, Melbourne. Chrissy, Sam and Brownie with the great Tony Martin.
Thank you. I'm here to help. I know you've got problems on this show. What was the hero business you were just
All right, so
on about?
this song, because
Okay.
of course Patrick Dangerfield saved 3 people's lives. Yes, he's a hero.
Yeah.
He's a hero, Dino.
Right.
That song was in a television series.
Was it,
Must
though?
have been in the 70s or 80s. In the 80s.
I
And
think
me and my brother used to watch it.
You're confusing it with the greatest American hero.
No.
No.
Where the theme song was Believe It or Not.
I'm walking on air.
And sung by Dino. Very few people realise that.
Swanee, you've got the answer though, haven't you?
It is Cover Up. It was also, that was a TV show, Cover Up. It's also in Scarecrow, Mrs. King, and the film Footloose.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that song. So do you know that song?
I do know that. It's Brodie Tyler.
It's one
it
of the
not?
greats.
Is it
May I
Bonnie
offer
Tyler?
you, may I offer you a
Bonnie Tyler.
tidbit?
Tip of time.
I've met Bonnie Tyler, and it was an amazing time. And I knew she was coming on, and I thought I would die happy probably if I could sing
Total Eclipse of the
Total
Heart.
Eclipse of the Heart into a fan with Bonnie Tyler. So I brought a fan in from home and I set it up, and Bonnie Tyler and I sang into the fan with our hair blowing back.
Wow, was that filmed?
Yeah, it was.
Were you so off tune that Bonnie Tyler started moving the fan towards your face?
Yeah, she took the protective wire off.
She thought I was
Great.
insane.
Insane.
And she's probably right. Tidbit over.
Tone, how's your week been?
It's been good. What else have I got to mention? Oh, well, here's what I did on Friday night. I went to dinner. A bunch of people went to dinner, and amongst those at the dinner was Peter Hitchener.
Oh, the king.
Famous for appearing on this show in various changes of gear. Have you got one of those?
Oh,
in
you
there?
want to change your pace?
Have you got a change of pace?
Was
Oh,
he-
me.
Hey, does he have a drink? Or does he have a glass of red or a...
He was playing it fairly safe because, you know, he's in public. and
Flaming Lamborghini.
He doesn't want to end up, sort of Andrew O'Keefe in the gutter out the front. Nobody wants to see that.
No.
Tone, this is the most famous change of pace.
Here we go.
That we love this
Champ
the
that
most.
PGA champ that might have some explaining to do on the home front after shunning a good luck kiss. Look, it's not a great feeling, but that's coming up a little later in sport, Pete.
Very funny, thank you, Tony. Human remains found under an Altona.
Best.
But he's
never
great.
be beaten.
It's fantastic to have dinner with Peter Hitchener. He does keep throwing to the weather at the end, though. That's true. And whenever I would speak, he'd go, "Now here's Tony with sport." I'm going, "No, I don't know anything about sport."
Tony, was he the king yet, or was this pre-announcement?
He was the king. He'd just been announced as King of Moomba, and
Was he gnawing on a leg of lamb?
he wasn't. I asked him if it was true that he'd already had Mal Walden beheaded, but he refused to comment. Refused to comment.
Pete Mitchell would want to watch his back. Mate.
And he was talking to him about how the problem with the Channel 9 news is it's so slick, you don't get the great cock-ups that you would get in the old days of the news where they throw to the wrong bit of footage.
Yeah.
And I said, look, the only thing you've really had that people remember is when they went to that camera on the roof of the building and there was a giant bird.
Yes.
I
And
remember
it
that.
looked like it was attacking
I do remember
Peter.
that.
And just involuntarily he went, "Oh, that bird." It was like, it's his mortal enemy.
How often would that get brought up to him, though?
What a legacy, Tone.
About 8 times during that particular
That
dinner.
bird.
I'll get that
So
bird.
Was he good company? You can be honest. Was he all right or not?
He's great.
Getting
Mentioning
on it.
Bird, I said, what are your duties for the King of Moomba? I said, surely you're taking part in the Birdman rally. And obviously that bird. But,
Yes.
but he's not. He has no official duties. So I'm
No.
not jumping off a jetty. But
No, that's an optional extra, but I think he might enlist his son to do that.
Yeah,
No.
do you know I'm the Prince of Moomba, Tone?
wow. So what do you have to
close
do?
relationship, right? It's a father-son
I hope the
relationship.
King's not going to have to bail you out with $12 million because of a scandal.
Well, Jackie, I think I could be getting a crown.
I think, the PR company has reached out and wants to drop something off to you.
Wow.
Oh, my
Hey, do you
God.
reckon there's a chance, though, you
subpoena.
would represent your father
Yeah.
by participating in the Birdman rally?
I don't, I might get water-based diseases getting into the
Come
Yarra.
on, how long, mate? How long since we've done it?
It's true.
How long since you've done a radio stunt?
Yeah, you need it. A little
Come
bit
on, mate.
Good point. All right,
Yeah.
I will do Birdman Rally if the opportunity presents itself.
Whoa.
And don't forget, there is a very sort of wide bar for the Birdman Rally. Sometimes you get someone who's built an actual kind of craft
Yeah.
Yes.
that almost has an engine and possibly a black box
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
it that goes for several meters. And then I love it when there's just a guy in some black jeans and nothing else,
Yeah.
with just a couple of cereal boxes on the arm.
Me too. They're
Just-
my favourite.
Just plunges straight down.
Yes.
Jackie Brown will build you one.
All right, I trust your son's instincts. Tone, back
Okay.
in a sec.
All right.
Do you want to see what this looks like? Well, get the visuals on Instagram. Follow Chrissy, Sam and Brownie.
Chrissy, Sam and Brownie on Nova 100. Listen to Sizzletown. It's the best podcast that lives in the land of podcasts.
Tony, were you listening on the way in about the debacle with the 1,000 extra books of brownies that we've got to get rid of?
That's right. And you've read out a letter that was sent from the publishers. Now, I have to say, everyone who writes a book eventually gets this letter because the fact is, Brownie,
That
at
makes
some
me feel
point,
better.
they're going to have printed too many. They're never going to print the precise amount. I had a book that had 6 printings, and it was one too many.
Yes.
Which one was it? Was it Lolly Scramble
was
or
Lolly
Nest
Scramble.
of Occasional?
And then it was Lolly Scramble, and then you just get, for the next 5 years, you just get friends sending you a photo they've taken on their phone of, I was in Cairns, and look, here's your book for 49 cents at the airport.
That's not what you want, is
I
it?
received a few of those, but it's a good feeling though when you do get the call saying there's been a reprint. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that must be going okay.
That's right.
The problem with the letter that you received from your publisher, who I'm sure is a very nice person, it wasn't addressed to you, and I feel like it had language in it that she wouldn't have used had she known that you were reading it.
It's a very
mean
good
like-
point. Well, Jackie's been very mischievous by passing on an email that wasn't meant for my eyes.
Which bits stand out to you, Tone?
I like, it is a futile exercise to continue to push this product.
I agree. That's
a
pretty
great
savage. And there's another bad one. There's another bad one after that.
There's another one where, she says she does acknowledge that it was a raging bestseller only 5 years ago. The fans move on pretty quickly.
Oh my God! I think you've got to turn this into gold. I think just an ad for the book with quote futile exercise.
Yes,
on the front there.
Could be another chapter.
Now, but I heard you mention the ghostwriter. So it says down the bottom,
Adam
it's
McNichol.
Jonathan Brown, and in much smaller letters with
Ghost
Adam
is-
McNichol.
I would say
Not-
co-writer.
Yeah.
Co-writer.
Ghost and Co are not essential
I would
here.
say he did all the heavy lifting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Adam McNichol, I know Adam
He's a
McNichol.
very good editor.
Very good journo and writer. And
Well, here's a story I've got for you involving Eddie Maguire, who I used to work with 30 years ago on Eon FM. He was just the sports reporter. Eon FM. He was the sports reporter on the news. He wasn't Eddie Maguire in capital letters. He was just this knockabout bloke who everyone liked,
Yes.
who read the sports.
Seb Costello.
Exactly. And he had a sort of a similar relationship that Brownie and I have, which is he would just constantly look at me like I was an alien because he couldn't understand why I didn't have a footy team, why I wasn't into the footy.
Yeah.
It just did not compute with Eddie.
Sure.
So one day he gives me this book, and it's a book he's written about a player who died in tragic circumstances called Darren Mullane.
Yes, pants.
And Pants. And the name of the book was Pants, the Darren Mullane story. And it said by Eddie Maguire, and then in smaller letters, and somebody else. And I open it up, and there's this beautiful inscription. And it just says, Dear Tony, I hope you like this book. I hope this is the book that will finally get you into football. I spent so much time and blood and sweat and tears writing this book.
Yeah.
And I hope this is the one that'll finally make you interested in
Everyone's
AFL.
wish, yeah.
So he's
that's
given me this
from
book
Eddie, and that's from Eddie Maguire.
from Eddie Maguire.
Wow.
So I've put that book on my shelf at home, and it's up there for 10 years, and I've never got round to reading it. And then cut to 10 years later, and I'm walking through the Channel 9 car park, haven't seen Eddie for 10 years, and then I just hear his voice. It just goes, Tony! And I look over, and he's sitting in a car, and by this time, he's like
Huge.
Eddie Maguire Incorporated.
Yeah. Mr. Everywhere, I believe his nickname was.
And he's sitting in a car that's like a submarine on wheels. and he's operating about 7 devices from the front of the car. He's got headphones on, he's got a computer, he's got a phone and an iPad.
He's the
talking
Wizard
to
of
about
Oz, yeah.
7 different people at once. He goes, come over here. And I'm walking towards Eddie Maguire. I'm going, what am I going to say? I can't think of anything to say to Eddie Maguire. And I get up to him and he goes, how are you? And I go, great, Eddie. Hey, I'm finally going to get round to reading that book, Pants, the Darren Mullane story. And this is what he says. He goes, yeah, well, when you do, tell me what it's like. I didn't even proofread that one. And speeds off in his car. Out of the car park.
So it sounds like he has much to do with that book that you did with yours, Brodie.
Yes, exactly
Mate.
right. But at least, as I've said before, at least I wrote the forward of my book.
No, mate, I've read this book. You did. There's a lot of good stuff.
A lot of I sourced. Mum was very good with sourcing the pictures, and I'm pretty happy with it. The way it's come up. I'm not sure about the reprint though. The front copy, you know, how they changed it. It was Action Shots tone.
Yes.
Me in all my glory, and then they've gone for a reprint of a. Yeah, me and just everyday man.
Look at that one,
clothes.
Tone. Look at that one, Tone.
That
Is that terrifying?
that should
that's the man
really-
you've worked with for 6 years now, and that's what he used to do.
That should be in a seal section.
It should be.
Thanks, guys.
Sizzletown. You just got to get to it. It's in the App Store. Tone, we love you.
Thanks,
See you
Tone.
Thanks, guys.
See you,
Good to
Tony.
be here.
Chrissy, Sam and Brownie. Ripper Show will be back tomorrow. Chrissy, Sam and Brownie. Oh, unless it's a weekend.
Over 100.